Alright guys, TacticalRab again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far as the kickoff tournaments continue to go down over the last couple of days. Some big results happening. Toronto and Scrappy losing a lot of finals, it's got to be said so far. Dashy though reckoning that someone he played last night might well have been using external assistance to one of the clips you're about to see. But also, Scrims are starting and Carolina Royal Ravens looking particularly promising playing against Boston last night. Very much interested in your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I would greatly appreciate it. This is a nice little spot here that Shotzzy discovered. Getting on this flower pod is pretty easy to do. It's the next bit which is interesting, and Terminal is a map that right now, at least in Scrims, most teams are playing for most game modes. Control, they haven't really gone near yet. I don't really think people know what to do on that one. Search and Destroy, I'm sure Terminal will be played as well, and yeah, Shotzzy, Cellium, Skyz, these type of players, they love finding the nerd spots such as this. Now, we've got to talk about the BPL. So this was launched yesterday, a big thing that easyMAX's been working on. If you guys are familiar with Pro City, what Tarek did in Valorant, which is where the players got fed up of doing 8s by themselves, and to be fair, there was no real reason to. So Tarek put together like a Discord and a set of players that could play 8s kind of, well, in a way that hadn't really been done so much before. So there's $5,000 on the line. Pretty much all the pros are in this. A lot of the top amateurs, content creators, all this stuff are going to be joining up. And the way that it works, I mean, we'll have a look at the ladder here at the end. Okay, we've got Drazah as the theoretical winner because he's definitely going to be up there. The pros can hop in, or the amateur players, whatever, they can play whenever they'd like to and just queue up, and then the Discord bot will put them in based on their roles, a 4 versus 4 game. They can then play that, and it runs every day for a couple of weeks. I think 2.5 weeks we're going for, and then if you win the map, you then get elo points. If you lose elo points, and therefore after the ends of the couple of weeks, someone's going to be at the top and somebody is going to win. So really excited for this. easyMAX's done a great job putting this all together, got a big prize pool, and there's going to be players that are going to be on this probably every single day trying to grind, because the more you grind, the more elo points you're possible to get, but of course you still have to win to get the elo, and even though you play as a team, it's still an individual competition effectively. So massively excited for that. Definitely tune in when that begins in a couple of days time, but there's been plenty of tournaments going down before then. FaZe have won. I mean, obviously everyone's won a couple of things here and there mostly, but yeah, Toronto have made quite a few finals here. They played Toronto in this one. FaZe went all the way to a round 11, and they got the win here on Karachi. Then there was another Karachi round 11 that I think the Thieves guys won against Toronto. We'll see in a second, but yeah, that was a big win for the FaZe guys. You're typically going to see these teams win these early tournaments. Now, of course, later today we'll discuss the fact that OpTic haven't been able to play with their full roster ideally because there is no Prid in the USA, at least as of now. So Cellium and co got that one over the line. There was also this grand finals that went down between Scrappy Toronto and Los Angeles Thieves, another round 11 here on Karachi. This one was actually a 3 versus 2 at some point, and still it's the Thieves guys that clutch up. Cammy gets a 2-piece, Afro gets the final one to take down Toronto and Scrappy in another grand finals. I know people were roasting Scrap here, right, just because, you know, saying that he hasn't turned up in a final since Major 3, which is the one they actually won, and potentially is pretty funny to be fair as well, because they have lost quite a few finals so far, Toronto, but of course they are making finals, right, and it's not so easy to actually make the finals in the first place. There was another finals they made here with Scrappy and co, and yeah, I mean, this is a kind of an unfortunate one. So he's in the flank on the outskirts here of High Rise, 3 versus 3 in this case. He should have got the second kill but stopped shooting and tried to run away, and then gets taken down by the guy further back, leaves it in a 2v2. His team eventually lose the round, and yeah, cost them another tournament win. So unfortunate stuff so far for Scrappy, but yeah, as we saw, that was the 4K earlier that Simp and the FaZe guys ended up winning. And there's also this one, Thieves, Ghosty, Cammy and Afro. So yeah, plenty of teams looking good early on. What I'm kind of interested though is what's happening in Scrims, and last night we start to see probably team scrimming. We saw the first day, like 30 minutes of release, there was Ravens was scrimming Heretics, but there's more happening now, and to be honest, this is kind of maybe an expected result, even at least this scrim set between Carolina and Boston. Just want to play this again because Snoopy gets absolutely well-starred here by Clay, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he had quite a long, I don't know what Snoopy was shooting at, to be honest, but this is the issue that Boston potentially have, is that Snoopy might take a little bit of time to actually warm up. And we said this before the season began, that if there was a team that was going to start slower and potentially end up quite well, it's probably going to be Boston, let's be honest. Their search and destroy should be very good. Like Slasher, Priestahh, Snoopy, and Capsidal. That should be, and I think that will be, a very good search and destroy team. The respawns, though, somewhat more questionable, at least early on. You've got to realize that it's going to take some time for the chemistry on that team to work. It's going to take some time for Sasha and Priestahh to get what they want out of Snoopy, especially maybe Capsidal as well. So it's a team that I'd expect to be competitive maybe in a few months if they stick it out. But at the start of the season, I think there will be work to do for Boston. However, Carolina is arguably on the other side. Now, to be fair, with Clayster, the likes of Gwyn and Real, rookies to the league, Clay could help those guys improve over the course of the year, and hopefully he will. But also with Clay in general, he tends to be good at the start of games. We saw that in Cold War, like other titles, it's been the same case. Last year as well with Vegas. Vegas' best chance of a good result last year and getting top 4 was really at the first event. That's kind of how it tends to be for those teams. They have a good chance early on, and then when other teams really get cooking, then it's going to be more challenging as the season progresses. So, you know, this is a team that I'd expect to start out Ravens pretty well. Boston, I wouldn't expect to start out so well. So I'm not massively surprised by the scrim results, but they're quite impressive for Ravens, it's got to be said. I mean, like Clay here and co, 250 to 74 here on Skid Row Hardpoint. I just picked out some of the biggest blowouts really, but here we are on Subbase, a map that actually does seem to be probably getting used this year, which is pretty good. I mean, I don't hate this map necessarily. I know there was a little bit of talk coming into the season that, yeah, possibly Subbase could be viable here. 250 to 96 on this one. Clay drops a 30 bomb with, and look at the setup again, it's the same thing, where Clay has no time in hill, and Real has all the hill time, 2.5 minutes. So already there's a clear structure to the way the Ravens are trying to play, and we see maybe a similar story here on Invasion Hardpoint. They actually lost this one. I wanted to show one that Boston actually won, but they only won one map of the 5 that they played, and yeah, Invasion went their way. Just to quickly look through actually, well, this is another screenshot to be fair that Clay puts out where he has 47 kills at this point with a bit of time left. Maybe this is the end of the game and they run out of time or something, I don't know, but Clay has 47 for the loss here against, this is against the Miami Heretics. So lots of scrims happening. It's good to see. It does mean that teams like OpTic are maybe not as close as they would like to be to actually starting scrims. There was also another set of scrims going down between Vegas and Rocket. It seemed like they kind of split these either way, and but it's interesting because Rocket generally got the more blowout wins. Tough to say whether both of these teams are good or whether both of these teams are not so good. Over the coming days and weeks, we'll really figure out, alright, when Vegas start to play Carolina, when Rocket start to play Carolina or Boston, whatever, we'll get a good picture of what happens there. And usually the teams will practice for a bit, they'll practice on stream for a good couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, and then usually the streams start to go off. Last year and the year before, to be fair, I think it was Boston that used to stream for the longest, just because JurNii wanted to stream, but then a lot of the pros weren't happy that JurNii was streaming their practice, even though their POVs weren't shown. It was like, well, I'm playing against Boston, and when I scrim Boston, therefore they get to see on Boston's point of view what our breakoffs are, and it's something that seems so minor, but whatever. A lot of the pros started to say to JurNii, hey, we actually don't really want you streaming practice, even from your point of view, and eventually they kind of had to stop. So anyway, we can see some of the Vegas versus Rocket ones here as well, 251-79 on the Skid Row. There was one more of a blowout here actually, yeah, 100-point club here on the Karachi, and I'm pretty sure that was probably it for the scrims that were shown from that one. Okay, actually Invasion as well also went Rocker's way. So yeah, kind of evenly matched so far. But let's dive into this Dashy stuff, because yesterday Dashy got another 1 versus 4. I mean, he's dropping a 1 versus 4 per day, it seems, at this point. And this is another clip where he just completely spins on this guy. I don't exactly know who it is. Let me try and pay attention to the feed here. So we kill Super Evan and then spins on this guy Colors. I don't know, I'm guessing a Warzone player or something like that. There was some discussion about it. So yeah, nice kill from Dashy for sure. But there was a game they played on a high rise when Dashy gets, well, red pretty hard going on the outskirts here, and he can't really believe that this guy is fully legit.
That's it, but I guess.
I'm in left lane. Oh, back left. Back left of the fences. Nice, let's get a broken plan.
Go. He's the same spot.
He's speaking.
Yeah, he's so nervous.
30 seconds left.
Oh my
Let's
get it, bro.
Oh my god.
Nah, that's unacceptable. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah.
That's unacceptable.
Bro has
Why is he
3
not
bullets in a
flying?
dream.
Why is he not flying?
Dude, I made him weak, and I'm like, I might as well. This is, I think this is over.
3 in a dream is crazy.
Let's go outskirts.
We're
Fighting.
friendly at Bravo.
Outskirts 1 HP,
Automate
bro.
that.
Absolute left window.
Stairs. One's on the stairs.
That kid's hacking 100%.
Containment.
Low.
Hello. Dead. I have all the street.
One's lightly coming.
I guess.
So what do you guys think about this clip, right? Because, sure, this clip in isolation might be a bit suspect. There's no way that this clip alone is enough to say whether somebody is cheating or not. Like, it might be suspicious, but with this clip alone, there's no way. If maybe the entire game, and I imagine Dashy got killed by this guy a couple of other times, I thought, okay, that's a bit dodgy, and then he added it up to the conclusion. Now, to be honest, the more easy explanation for this is just that somebody saw Dashy cross, or called him out, or pinged him, or something like that, because, okay, this guy's holding this angle, and then just as Dashy comes around, then he, you know, repositions to hold this angle, which is, you know, it's one of those things that could just got good timing, right? It's not impossible to get good timing here, and I would say it's more likely that someone on the left-hand side of the screen maybe saw Dashy or called him out or pinged him, something like that. I think that's the more likely explanation. It's possible that the guy just decided to change positioning and start to hold this angle, but maybe he got a bit of a call out there. Tough to say. Dashy then comes around the corner. I don't really understand as well. I saw people commenting on this saying that he pre-fired Dashy. Like, I don't think he pre-fired him, no? Like, where he didn't shoot until, like, now when Dashy's already visible. So, yeah, okay, nice pre-aim. Kind of tracked him through the wall, but, you know, did he really track him through the wall, or was he just moving over? I don't know. I think he was just pre-aiming the spot where he'd either heard Dashy was coming from because his teammate called him out, or he does actually have wall hacks and decides to pre-aim this. I think it's, you know, there's not enough in this clip to say either way. It's possible the guy's cheating. Definitely possible. But I think on this evidence alone, there isn't anything crazy in it, and especially because after he does get that kill, Dashy then, well, of course, the teammates, I'm guessing, go on to win the game, do they not? Because, I mean, they must do, surely. They're up 5-3, 3 versus 2. I don't know if they actually do go on to win this map here, but surely a 3 versus 2 bomb site defense, they probably win the map 6-3. So, you know, if the guy was cheating, would they have won the map 6-3? Maybe, maybe not. Now, not to say that cheaters don't exist, not to say that they won't continue to exist, because more likely than not that they will, and there's always cheating discussions as the season progresses. On this one, I'm not so convinced, but intrigued to your thoughts on it all in the comments section below. Just before we close out here, actually wanted to mention this from OpTic, so I'm guessing this was one of the tournaments that Hitch has been putting together. $150,000. Modern Warfare 3 S&D only tournament, which is starting today and continues until the finals on the 27th of November. So there's 16 teams in this. It's a proper creator tourney as well, which is good in a sense that usually when we hear content creators, we think, oh yeah, it's going to be Scump and Crimsic, you know what I mean? Like the retired guys, Zinni, that are coming back. These are actually creators. So these are the teams, just to go through some of them. So this is kind of like an old men of OpTic team with, it actually says, if you guys don't know all of these people, because I definitely don't know all of these people, it says the names at the top. You guys might just be able to make them out actually at the bottom here, so we can see Merc, Hex, Hutch, and Diesel, right? So you probably know these guys, but some of these teams you might not. So yeah, we've got Courage JD, Methods, Nicewig, and Cloaksy. And anyway, I'll just kind of go through quickly the teams. This is a nice one here, actually, with Nade, Scump, of course, Daltouche, and Dropped, I believe, and yeah, plenty of other teams. So just kind of quickly go through these teams if you guys want to pause and see what's going on. But mega job, I'm sure, here by Hitch to put this all together, because getting these teams organized is never easy. And these guys are going to be playing over the course of a little while to figure out who's going to win the $150,000. And as I say, like, it's a proper creator tournament here. Okay, there's a mix of pros in there. There's a mix of, I guess, challenger players in there, but a lot of it is actually, you know, proper content creators. Cool to have Hex and Co involved as well. Like, old men of OpTic used to watch those streams all of the time. Clayster's on a team here with Aiden, which is pretty cool. So yeah, there's a lot for these guys to play over the first couple of weeks of the game. Crowder's got a team as well, and then Preda's playing with these guys as and when he arrives to the US, which we'll talk about later on today. So very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.